in Ghana, and I welcome everybody back to my channel. If this is your first time on this particular channel, I share with you how to raise local chickens as a business. So if you are a graduate, or you are a secondary school graduate, or a high school graduate, or a university graduate, you have the degree but you don't actually find any job doing, guys, relax. You will learn how to raise local chickens as a business from the comfort of your home from this particular channel. So if you are new, just subscribe and follow. Make sure to be following our videos, be joining our streams, and then don't forget the link for the Telegram group is in the description of the video. Use the link to join the Telegram channel. Any problem you have in regarding to raising local chickens, there are lots of people out there that will assist you. Okay, so this morning, OB Tex Farm from Nigeria, welcome to the stream. I welcome everybody, I salute everybody. I give a shout out to these guys. OB Tex from Nigeria, this is my big mama. She has been here with me from day one till now. We have a lot of guys from Nigeria, a lot of guys from Ghana, a lot of guys from Uganda, a lot of guys from Kenya, a lot of guys from USA, UAE, Germany. They are following. So guys, I welcome you to the stream. If you join the stream, make sure to leave your name and where you are joining from in the live chat, okay? So that I can give you a shout out. Now, in this particular stream, I just want us to look at something critically. We have to analyze, we have to discuss, and then we have to ask ourselves certain questions, okay? But before we proceed, this morning, you can see the guys are doing well. The rabbits, they are doing well. I've checked them. They've gotten day 7. The bunnies, they are now day 7. So it's a joy to have these guys in the house, okay? So it's a lot of fun this morning, but the question I want us to discuss, or what I want us to analyze, is pertaining to the chickens, okay? Let's leave these guys aside. Let's talk about chickens. Now, when you go to Germany, Europe, America, India, China, every continent or any part of the world, they have their own birds. They have their own chickens. If you come to Africa, we also have our own chickens. But the other day, I was checking the news. I was checking something. I'm trying to find out the kind of importation we are doing annually whenever it comes to chickens. The number of eggs we are importing from China, from India, from USA, from Canada, and then the chicken meat, the ones we have been importing to Africa. And then to the surprise, I'm very shocked. And then as I checked, the number that is coming to Ghana is very, very huge. Very, very huge. We are importing close to $100 million of eggs, chicken eggs, and meat from China annually. And then that's cut across all the continents, or all the countries in the African continent. So this is a problem. Now, why is it a problem? Is because we have to critically analyze what is going on. Even though we have farms in Africa, we have farms in Ghana, we have farms all over the world that are raising chickens. Why our farms are not performing to the core? Okay, why our farms are not performing to the core? And I find out that most of the big farms we have in Africa, they've only focused on the exotic birds. Majority, 90% of chicken farms you get in Africa, you find in Africa, they are raising exotic birds. They are raising commercial layers. They are raising broilers. That's all. That's all. Broilers, commercial layers, and then these sasso birds. These exotic birds are the one 90% of farmers focus on. So we don't have any regards for the local birds that we have at our disposal here in Africa. And if that happens, it becomes a problem. Because before we can get access to the foreign birds, the exotic birds, we have to order them with huge sums of money. Money has to leave the country. Money has to leave our continent. Okay? Money must go out before we get the birds But whenever it comes to the local chickens, if we are looking at it from this perspective, the birds are already here. They can provide us with fertilized eggs. If we want to hatch the eggs, we only need incubators. If you have, let's say, 100 local chickens, in a week or in a month, you can be, okay, you really speak. You can hatch like 500, 1,000 eggs, 2,000 eggs, because they can produce fertilized eggs, and then these eggs can be consumed. Okay, they can be consumed. Our local chickens, they can equally produce unfertilized eggs, or the table eggs, which can be consumed, or the fertilized eggs, which can be consumed. The only thing that we have to focus on is how can we do this and do it well? If we are importing these huge sums of chicken products from outside our African continent, how can we do this? And then you could see that a lot of content I came across on YouTube and then on social media as a whole, 90% of these contents also focus on the foreign birds, the exotic birds. We only give bad recommendation whenever it comes to our local chickens, our indigenous chickens. But we have to change that perception. Okay, you and I are the people that will change that perception, because our local chickens, they have a lot of qualities. They have a lot of abilities that can make us profitable, that can make us develop the continent whenever it comes to the kind of meat we want in terms of chickens, and then the kind of eggs we are consuming. Okay? These things boils down to management. So 90% of content creators that are farmers, they recommend you going into layers farming or broilers farming. And these birds, they are not hardy like our local birds. The commercial layers, they are being developed to produce eggs, so they lay eggs. That's all. They will not lay fertilized egg for you. The broilers are raised for meat, and then the sarsos can give you both meat and eggs. And then sometimes we do this hybrid. But 90% of farmers that are into raising chickens, they will advise you to go in with the exotic birds. But guys, this is where we have to be critical about everything. This is where we have to be critical. Why we have to be critical is, one, if the exotic birds, these birds, they cannot withstand adverse weather conditions. They cannot resist diseases like ours. And then the kind of products we are getting from them, they are good. I'm not saying they are not good. They are good. They are helping. But in comparison with our local chickens meat, and then the eggs are far, far more nutritious than them, then why should we focus on the exotic birds? The second thing is, if our local chickens, they are hardy, they can equally lay eggs, they can hatch their own eggs, or we can employ the assistance of incubators to hatch the eggs, then it's easy. We don't, if we want day-old chicks, we don't need to order them from other farms, or we order them outside the continent and pay huge sums of money to get the day-old chicks. All what we need is to hatch these eggs, these fertilized eggs, from our local birds. So it's easy. It's simple. Okay? It is not costly. It's cost effective. So why can't we look at this? Why can't we focus on this? Okay, why can't we focus on this? We tend to focus on these things like local chickens don't grow fast. Local chickens don't lay as many eggs as the layers. Local chickens are not good for meat production, or in terms of meat, they don't carry that weight and size. So they are not good for that meat production that we want. But guys, those things are all fallacies. Okay? Whenever you take a critical look at our birds and other breeds, the exotic ones, the exotic birds, they also produce small eggs, truffles, medium eggs, and large eggs. The same thing whenever it comes to local chickens, they also produce small eggs, medium eggs, and large eggs. If you look at some of the exotic birds, they are very, very small. They are also small in size. Okay, the same thing applies to the local chickens. You can get big local chickens also. That sizable local chickens, you get them also. I have a lot in the house. Okay, currently the ones I'm raising, they are very big in size. Okay, so let's not focus on those small things because they are not an absolute truth. Okay, so what I want us to look at is if you and I can actually start to raise local chickens on a large scale, then we'll be doing more good than bad to our economy. We'll be assisting the continent to develop. Instead of us to be sitting down and then be complaining or be moving out to raise exotic birds, it will rather make us proud that we are also assisting in a way. We are producing eggs. One, local chickens eggs, they are costly. They cost. Why? Because we are not patronizing it. There is no huge supply coming in, and if there is a demand and then the supply is very low, the cost will go up. Okay, the cost will go up. So most people complain that local chicken eggs, they are costly, and then they are costly because they are also more nutritious than the exotic birds. But the actual factor that is making the local chicken eggs to cost is the supply chain is very, very low. The supply chain is very low. So if you need a local chicken egg for something now, for consumption now, you are going to purchase it at a very huge price because the supply is not there. We don't have farmers. In my vicinity, we don't have any commercial local chicken farm. In the whole of Ghana, it will be very hard for you to get a commercial local chicken farm that is producing, let's say, 10,000 crates of eggs, 5,000 crates. You will not see it. And it's a fact. Okay, so if you and I can come in, it's a sector, it's a venture that we can endeavor because we can actually do something about it. If we can look at it in this way and begin to produce the local chickens, following the proper routines of how we raise the layers and then the broilers, we can equally make these local chickens to attain the size, the weight to produce the eggs, the number of eggs that we want, how we want them. They can also be good layers. They can also be giving us, let's say, 150 eggs a year is good. 180 eggs a year, 200 eggs a year is good because all of them have their laying capacity. They are unique in their own ways. You can have local chickens that will give you a local chicken that will give you, let's say, 20 eggs a month, 30 eggs a month, 15 eggs a month, depending on the ability of that local chicken and depending on how you, the farmer, you are taking good care of the birds. So if the way we have been raising the layers, we can equally take care of the birds from day old like that. We've put them on a specific feeding schedule, supplementing them, vaccinating them. We take good care of them also from that day old till maturity, that is 16, 17 weeks. They will also begin to produce eggs. They will also begin to lay eggs for us consistently. Okay, if they become broody, it will take like 3 days or 5 days, and then they'll be out of the brood nest, and then they'll begin to produce again. And then those eggs can be supplied to the market for sale. And through that, the rate at which we have been importing eggs and chicken meat will reduce. You can equally raise local chickens for meat. How are you going to do it? You just hatch the eggs. If you hatch the eggs, you raise the day-old chicks, the ones that are male ones. You separate them from the female ones, and then you put them on a special diet for them to attain the size and the weight, and then you sell them off as a meat. You sell those roosters as meat. We have a lot of people that consume them. And then the fact is that they are more nutritious and sweet than the broilers. Okay, so these are some of the things I want us to critically discuss. If you sit down and ask yourself some of these questions, okay, ask yourself, why are we venturing into exotic birds? They will do more better than why are we following these exotic birds? Everything we are importing it. Everything we are focusing on the Western world. Why can't we focus on our own continent and help the continent develop? Why can't we invest into local chickens? I've contacted a lot of people about investing into local chickens. They all reject. the investment, because we don't value things on our own continent. So guys, if you sit down, just ask yourself these few questions. Most people, they say they are out of the business, or they are not going to do local chickens because they are spending money on feeding and all these things. You are complaining about feeding, and then you want to go into layers, broilers. So guys, these are some of the questions we need to ask ourselves, and then find means and ways of how we can do this and do it well. Okay, you and I are the very people that will change the narrative. Okay, so guys, these are some of the few questions I would like to put across to you. Ask yourself these simple questions, and then find reasons and solutions for this. Share this with others. Share it with others. Encourage others. Okay, you can equally begin to teach people in your community how to raise local chickens as a business. They shouldn't leave them to wander around like how we have been doing it. Okay, so guys, I'll catch you up for another one like this tomorrow morning, because it's already late. I have to get prepared, get dressed for my usual work, So it's easy to raise. Yeah, I'm just going to bath and then I'm off to work. I've already taken care of them. What do I need? To give them feed and then give them water. I'm off to work. I'll come back in the afternoon and then repeat the same process. That's all. Okay, that is all. So guys, I love you. Obi, thank you for joining. Sasai, thank you for joining. Israel, thank you for joining. Everybody, thank you for joining. If you are new, make sure to subscribe and join the community. Guys, I love you. I'll catch you up tomorrow for another one like this.